The 1990 D Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin is one of those rare and valuable coins that has captured the attention of collectors and treasure hunters all around the world. What makes this particular coin so special is not only its age but also the remarkable history and minting characteristics that can make it worth a fortune. Today we are going deep into the story behind the 1990 D Washington quarter, its background, the reasons for its rarity, the mistakes that made some of these coins incredibly valuable, and how one example reached an astonishing value of $93,562 in the collector's market. So sit back and listen carefully because the coin you might have in your pocket could be worth far more than 25 cents. The story of the 1990 D Washington quarter begins in the Denver Mint, where millions of quarters were produced that year. The Washington quarter had already been in circulation for nearly 6 decades, first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. The original design by John Flanagan featured a portrait of George Washington on the obverse side, facing left, with the word Liberty inscribed above and the motto "In God We Trust" to the left of his profile. The reverse side displayed a bold eagle with its wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows, with 2 olive branches below symbolizing peace and strength. This iconic design remained in use for many years and became one of the most recognizable coins in American history. By 1990, the U.S. Mint had refined its production methods, but that didn't mean mistakes were impossible. In fact, it was the rare errors, minting varieties, and condition-specific issues that turned some 1990 D quarters into extraordinary treasures. The Denver Mint, marked with the letter D under the portrait of Washington, produced over 1 billion coins that year. However, among that massive production, a handful of pieces stood out due to striking errors, off-center strikes, die breaks, and other rare minting anomalies that made them incredibly valuable to collectors. Now let's talk about why the 1990 D quarter can be worth so much money. Normally, a circulated 1990 D quarter would only be worth its face value of 25 cents. But when you find one in mint condition, graded by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, it can bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the grade. The highest value quarters from this year are usually in mint state grades like MS68 or higher, where the coin is virtually flawless, showing brilliant luster and no contact marks visible to the naked eye. One of the most important factors in determining the value of a 1990 D quarter is its strike quality and preservation. Coins that were carefully stored and never used in circulation tend to have higher value because they retain their sharp details and mint luster. Another key factor is the presence of minting errors. Some rare examples include double die obverse quarters, where the inscriptions or design elements appear doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process. Others may feature off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing or shifted to one side. These unusual mistakes can dramatically increase the coin's market value. Now imagine this scenario. A collector searching through a roll of quarters found a 1990 D Mint Mark coin that looked a little different. Upon closer inspection, the coin had a double die feature on the motto "In God We Trust" and a slightly off-center strike. After professional grading, it received an MS67 grade, and because of its uniqueness, it sold for an incredible $93,562 at auction. That single quarter, worth only 25 cents at face value, became a small fortune. The fascination with coins like the 1990 D quarter comes from the blend of history, craftsmanship, and rarity. The Washington Quarter series represents an important era in American coinage. When you hold a coin like this, you are holding a piece of the nation's history that has circulated through countless hands and generations. Each coin tells a story, and when that story includes an element of rarity or error, collectors go wild for it. Collectors often look for specific signs that make a 1990 D quarter stand out. First, they check the mint mark under Washington's neck. The D Mint mark should be clearly defined. Then, they look for any doubling on the obverse side or misalignment of the lettering. On the reverse, they search for die cracks, missing details on the eagle's feathers, or any extra metal near the lettering, which can indicate a die break. Even a small error like a filled mint mark, where the D appears partially covered due to grease or debris, can make a coin more desirable. Another factor that can affect value is toning. Some quarters develop natural color tones over time, such as golden, blue, or purple hues caused by oxidation. When the toning is attractive and evenly distributed, collectors are willing to pay premium prices for those coins. It's also important to note that the condition of the coin's edges and fields plays a significant role. Coins with sharp reeded edges, clean surfaces, and no scratches or signs of cleaning are much more valuable. If a coin has been cleaned or polished, it loses value dramatically because collectors prefer coins in their original, untouched state. The history of the Washington Quarter series saw several changes over the decades. From 1932 to 1964, these coins were made of 90% silver and 10% copper, making them both valuable and collectible. However, starting in 1965, the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-nickel clad composition to reduce costs. The 1990 D quarter follows that clad composition, with an outer layer of copper and nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Even though it doesn't contain silver, its value skyrockets because of rarity and condition rather than metal content. Many coin collectors use grading scales to determine value, ranging from poor condition, P1, to perfect mint state, MS70. For the 1990 D quarter, coins in average circulated condition may sell for around 50 cents to $1. In uncirculated condition, prices can rise from $20 up to several $100s depending on appeal. The real jackpot comes with high-grade examples certified by grading authorities that reach MS68 or MS69, where only a few are known to exist. To understand why the 1990 D quarter has reached prices as high as $93,562, you have to consider both rarity and demand. The coin collecting community always seeks coins that are nearly perfect or that feature dramatic errors. The fewer the number of such coins known, the higher the value. Combine that with the popularity of the Washington Quarter series and you have a coin that can break auction records. Stories of lucky finds have been reported many times. Everyday people searching through pocket change, coin rolls, or inherited collections have discovered 1990 D quarters in remarkable condition. Some have been stored in mint sets or rolls untouched since 1990, and when graded professionally, they turned out to be high-value coins worth thousands. Let's discuss a bit about the minting process that leads to these rare treasures. Each coin starts as a blank metal disc called a planchet. The planchet is fed into a coining press where it's struck with tremendous force between two dies, imprinting the design onto both sides. Any slight misalignment, debris, or mechanical malfunction can cause an error. These errors, while unintended, create coins that collectors find fascinating. Examples of rare 1990 D quarter errors include die cracks running across Washington's neck, broad strike coins where the edge is missing the usual ridges, and double-struck coins where the design appears to have been hit twice. Some even show missing clad layers, where part of the nickel coating didn't bond properly, exposing the reddish copper underneath. Each of these variations can multiply a coin's value exponentially. The 1990 D quarter also serves as an educational reminder for collectors. It teaches the importance of paying attention to small details. Sometimes the difference between a regular coin and a five-figure coin is barely noticeable to the naked eye. Using a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe can reveal tiny errors that make all the difference. As collectors continue to search for the perfect example, the 1990 D quarter's reputation keeps growing. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers have seen strong bidding competition for top-graded specimens, with prices reaching record levels. The value of such coins often appreciates over time, especially when fewer examples are available on the market. If you are someone who enjoys treasure hunting or collecting coins, you should always keep an eye out for 1990 quarters. Check your change, old coin jars, and inherited collections. The 1993 P Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin might look like an ordinary quarter to most people, but collectors and numismatists know that certain examples of this coin can be worth thousands of dollars. In this video, we will explore the incredible history, minting details, and collector value of the 1993 P Washington quarter. We'll also uncover what makes this coin so special, what errors and varieties to look for, and how one recently sold for an astonishing $58,265. If you have a 1993 P quarter sitting in your collection, in your pocket, or tucked away in a jar, you'll want to watch this video all the way through because it might just change your life. The Washington quarter has a long and fascinating history. It was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the obverse of the coin features a striking portrait of Washington facing left, while the reverse depicts the majestic eagle with its wings spread wide. This design was used for decades until it was replaced in 1999 by the 50-state quarters program. But in 1993, the classic eagle reverse was still in use, making the 1993 P Washington quarter part of the original design series that many collectors cherish today. The letter P on the 1993 quarter stands for the Philadelphia Mint, where millions of coins were struck. The Philadelphia Mint is one of the most important and historic mints in the United States, and in 1993 it produced hundreds of millions of quarters for circulation. However, not all of them were made equally. While most 1993 P quarters are only worth their face value of 25 cents, a few rare and exceptional ones stand out due to minting errors, high-grade condition, and unique characteristics that make them extremely valuable to collectors. Let's first look at the general mintage. In 1993, the Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 648 million Washington quarters. That's a huge number, and that's why the average coin from circulation won't be worth more than a quarter. But when a coin survives in pristine, uncirculated condition, or if it has an error or striking anomaly, its value can skyrocket. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC as mint state 68 or higher can command serious money from collectors who seek perfection. Now let's talk about why the 1993 P Washington quarter has become so valuable in recent years. One of the main reasons is its condition rarity. Finding a 1993 P quarter that has never been in circulation, with full luster, sharp details, and no scratches or contact marks, is extremely difficult. Even fresh rolls of coins often contain small imperfections caused by the minting process. That's why when a truly flawless example appears, collectors are willing to pay thousands of dollars. In fact, one example graded MS-68 by PCGS sold at auction for an incredible $58,265. This set a record for the highest known sale of this date and mint mark combination, showing just how valuable a seemingly ordinary coin can become under the right conditions. So what makes one of these coins worth so much? Let's break it down. First, the grade or condition is crucial. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. A 1993 P quarter that grades MS-68 or MS-69 is nearly flawless, meaning the coin has perfect luster, sharp strike, and no visible marks even under magnification. Only a handful of such coins are known to exist, which is why collectors compete fiercely for them at auction. Second, minting errors can greatly increase a coin's value. Some 1993 P quarters have been discovered with double die obverse or reverse errors, where the design appears slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the die striking process. These varieties can make the coin extremely valuable depending on the strength and location of the doubling. Other errors include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and missing clad layers. Each of these adds uniqueness and rarity to the coin, which collectors love. If you have a 1993 P quarter that looks strange or different, don't dismiss it. It could be an error coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Third, the coin's appearance matters a lot. Coins with strong, crisp strikes, brilliant luster, and attractive toning can bring a premium over coins that are dull or spotted. Collectors often prefer coins that look visually stunning, especially those with rainbow or golden toning caused by natural oxidation over time. A beautifully toned 1993 P quarter in mint condition can easily sell for more than a standard uncirculated example. Let's take a moment to appreciate the design of this coin. The obverse shows the profile of George Washington, designed with bold detail and lifelike features. The word Liberty arches across the top, with the motto I in God We Trust placed to the left, and the year 1993 below Washington's neck. The letter P mint mark appears just beside the ribbon in Washington's hair, identifying it as a product of the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse features the eagle, wings spread proudly, clutching a bundle of arrows with two olive branches below, symbols of strength and peace. The words United States of America, e pluribus unum, and $quarter encircle the design, giving it balance and beauty that has stood the test of time. Now let's discuss the market demand for 1993 P quarters. Over the years, collectors have been paying closer attention to modern coins in top condition. The rise of coin grading services has made it easier to identify and certify high-quality examples. With only a handful of 1993 P quarters certified at the top grades, the competition for these coins has become intense. This demand drives up prices dramatically, especially during auctions held by major numismatic companies. The $58,265 sale was not a coincidence. It reflects the growing appreciation for modern Washington quarters that represent near perfection. It's also worth noting that the early 1990s were not known for the best minting quality. The dies used to strike coins often wore out quickly, leading to weak details and dull surfaces. That's why a sharply struck 1993 P quarter with full details on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers is so rare. Collectors search tirelessly for these top-quality coins, and when one appears, it becomes a centerpiece of any modern collection. If you want to check your own 1993 P quarter, start by examining the coin under good lighting. Look for luster and shine across the surface. Check if the details on Washington's hair are crisp and clear. Look for scratches, nicks, or marks that might reduce its grade. If your coin looks flawless or nearly flawless, it may be worth having it graded by a professional service. Even if it doesn't reach the highest grade, it could still be valuable, especially if it has an interesting error or beautiful toning. Let's talk about errors again because many collectors find these the most exciting. Some known errors from the 1993 P quarter include double die obverse varieties where you can see doubling in the words Liberty or I in God We Trust. There are also coins struck slightly off-center, where part of the design is missing on one side. Missing clad layer errors reveal a copper-colored surface on one side of the coin, and these are very popular with collectors. Another error to look for is the broad strike, where the coin was struck without the collar die, causing it to appear larger and flatter than normal. Each of these errors can multiply the value of the coin significantly depending on how dramatic and unique the error is. Now let's talk about the historical significance of the Washington Quarter series. Since 1932, it has served as a tribute to the first President of the United States, and a symbol of American history. For over 6 decades, the eagle reverse design represented national pride, strength, and freedom. By 1993, the quarter had already gone through many subtle design modifications and metal composition changes. The coin was made of a copper nickel-clad composition, consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This composition gives the coin its distinctive silver appearance while keeping production costs low. Although the 1993 P quarter was produced in massive numbers, few people took the time to preserve them. Most went straight into circulation, where they were spent, worn down, and scratched. That's why uncirculated coins in gem condition are so rare today. Coins stored in rolls, mint sets, or proof sets have the best chance of surviving in high grades. If you ever come across a 1993 mint set, check the quarter inside carefully. It could be one of the valuable examples. Many collectors also like to build complete sets of Washington quarters by year and mint mark. For them, finding the 1993 P in top grade is essential. The Philadelphia issue often complements the 1993 D Denver Mint and 1993 S San Francisco Proof versions. The 1995 D Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin might look like an ordinary piece of change, but this coin holds a fascinating story, a hidden history, and an incredible value that has caught the attention of collectors all around the world. Imagine having a simple coin in your pocket that could be worth over $39,000. Yes, you've heard that right, a 1995 D Washington quarter with a current market value of $39,253. In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into the coin's background, the story behind its minting, what makes it so rare and valuable, and how you can identify if you have one sitting in your collection or even in your loose change. Let's start with the history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The coin quickly became one of the most recognized pieces of U.S. currency. The obverse design, which features the left-facing portrait of George Washington, was created by sculptor John Flanagan. This design has become iconic and remained the standard for decades, only being slightly modified through the years. By 1995, the Washington quarter had been circulating for more than 60 years, and while millions were minted, certain details and errors made a few of these coins extremely valuable. The 1995 D Mint Mark quarter was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest mints in the United States. The Denver Mint is known for striking billions of coins each year, and because of that, the Mint Mark D is one of the most commonly found across U.S. coinage. However, among those billions of quarters, there are some coins that contain unique flaws or characteristics that make them stand out from the rest. The 1995 D Washington quarter is one of those rare gems that coin enthusiasts dream of finding. To understand why this coin is worth so much, let's look at what makes it special. The most valuable 1995 D quarters are known for their pristine condition, full strike, and most importantly, mint errors that occurred during production. Some of these errors include double die obverse, off-center strikes, and even coins struck on the wrong planchet. A double die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin is engraved twice at slightly different angles, resulting in doubling of the text or image. For collectors, such an error increases the coin's rarity and desirability exponentially. Another factor that influences the value of the 1995 D Washington quarter is its condition. Coins are graded on a scale called the Sheldon scale, which ranges from poor P1 to mint state MS70. A coin graded MS65 or higher is considered a premium condition coin, showing full details, brilliant luster, and virtually no marks from circulation. The highest valued 1995 D quarters are those that remain in mint state condition, often graded by professional organizations like PCGS or NGC. A 1995 D Washington quarter in MS67 condition can command a price upwards of $10,000. But when you factor in an error variety or full strike designation, the value skyrockets to over $39,000, as some examples have achieved in auction houses and private sales. Now let's talk about the design details of the coin. On the obverse side, you'll find the portrait of George Washington. His image is bold and dignified, representing strength and leadership. The word Liberty is inscribed above his head, while the year 1995 is positioned below. The Mint Mark D is located just to the right of Washington's ponytail. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see the majestic bald eagle with its wings spread wide, clutching arrows and olive branches, a powerful symbol of America's readiness to defend peace and freedom. The inscriptions, United States of America, et pluribus unum, and $quarter, circle the eagle. The beauty of the Washington quarter lies not just in its design, but in its role in American history. The 1995 D quarter was produced during a time when the U.S. Mint was preparing for a major transformation. Just a few years later, in 1999, the 50-state quarters program was launched, completely changing the appearance of quarters and sparking one of the biggest collecting crazes in modern numismatic history. This makes the 1995 D quarter one of the last designs from the traditional Washington Eagle reverse era, adding even more collectible appeal for those who value historical continuity. Collectors often wonder how to identify whether their 1995 D quarter might be one of the rare and valuable ones. The first thing you should do is check the coin's condition. If it shows very little wear and still has a bright, original luster, you could be holding a mint state coin. Use a magnifying glass to examine the lettering and details on both sides. Look closely at the words, Liberty and In God We Trust, on the obverse, and United States of America, on the reverse. Any signs of doubling or misalignment could indicate a valuable error. You should also pay attention to the weight and thickness of the coin. A standard Washington quarter weighs about 5.67 grams and is composed of a copper nickel clad. However, there have been reports of some 1995 D quarters being struck on planchets intended for other denominations, such as dimes or foreign coins. These off-metal errors can be extremely valuable and are often authenticated by professional grading companies. Now let's take a look at the market value. The 1995 D Mint Mark Washington quarter, in average circulated condition, is typically worth its face value of 25 cents. But once you move into higher grades, the value climbs rapidly. In uncirculated condition, without any major marks or scratches, the coin can fetch between $5 and $20. A quarter graded MS-65 might be valued at around $100, but the rarest, highest grade examples, especially those with recognized minting errors, can sell for over $39,000. One of the most notable sales occurred at a private auction where a 1995 D Washington quarter with a stunning double die error sold for over $39,253. The coin was graded MS-68 by PCGS, meaning it was nearly flawless, with incredible detail and eye appeal. Collectors were amazed by its condition, and the bidding war pushed the price to record-breaking levels. This sale helped shine a light on the value potential of modern Washington quarters and encouraged coin enthusiasts to check their collections more carefully. So why are collectors willing to pay so much for a coin like this? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and historical significance. As more and more collectors compete for limited high-grade examples, the demand drives up prices. Modern coins that were once thought to be common are now being re-evaluated for their quality and errors. The 1995 D Washington quarter represents a perfect storm of scarcity, preservation, and intrigue. If you're wondering where to find one of these valuable coins, start by checking your old change jars, coin rolls, or inherited coin collections. Local coin shops and online auctions are also great places to search, but always remember to buy from trusted dealers and insist on coins that are certified by professional grading services. Authentication is key when it comes to high-value coins, as it provides proof of legitimacy and ensures that the coin has been evaluated by experts. For collectors, the thrill of finding a rare 1995 D quarter isn't just about the money. It's about the excitement of uncovering a hidden treasure from everyday life. Each coin carries a story of its own, from the moment it was struck at the Denver Mint, to the hands it passed through, to the collector who finally recognized its worth. That's what makes coin collecting such a fascinating and rewarding hobby. Now let's talk about preservation. If you find a 1995 D Washington quarter that appears to be in exceptional condition, never attempt to clean it. Cleaning a coin can damage its surface and drastically reduce its value. Instead, store it in a protective holder or coin flip to prevent scratches and tarnishing. Avoid touching the coin's face or edges with bare fingers, as oils from your skin can cause discoloration over time. Keeping your coins in a cool, dry place is the best way to preserve their quality for the long term. It's also worth noting that coins like the 1995 D Washington quarter represent an important chapter in the evolution of U.S. currency. The Washington quarter has been a symbol of American pride, unity, and history for nearly a century. From its introduction in 1932 through the transition to the 50-state quarters program, this coin has captured the imagination of collectors worldwide. The 1995 D version, with its unique combination of rarity and condition, stands as a bridge between the old and new eras of U.S. coinage. So, as you go through your change, keep your eyes open. That simple quarter you find might not just be worth 25 cents. It could be a life-changing discovery worth tens of thousands of dollars. Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting video where we explore the world of rare and valuable coins hiding right in your pocket change. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most surprising modern coins that has caught the attention of collectors all over the United States: the 2021 P Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin. At first glance, it might look like any other ordinary quarter you use for parking meters or vending machines, but this particular coin can actually be worth an astonishing $72,453, depending on its condition, rarity, and minting error. Yes, you heard that right. A modern 2021p Washington quarter, still circulating today, could make you thousands of dollars richer if you happen to find the right one. Now, before we jump into the details of how this coin became one of the most talked about quarters in recent times, let's start with a bit of history about the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. It replaced the standing Liberty quarter, which had been minted from 1916 to 1930. The original design featured a profile of George Washington on the obverse, or front side, created by sculptor John Flanagan. This design became iconic and remained on the quarter for decades. The reverse side of the early Washington quarters featured a majestic bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, symbolizing strength and peace. Over the years, the design changed many times, from the 50-state quarters program that ran from 1999 to 2008, to the America the Beautiful quarters that ran from 2010 to 2021. Each of these designs celebrated different aspects of American heritage, landmarks, and history. Now let's fast forward to the year 2021, a very important year in the history of the Washington quarter. This was the year when the U.S. Mint concluded the America the Beautiful quarter series and introduced a brand new design featuring a fresh artistic take on Washington's portrait. The obverse of the 2021 quarter shows a redesigned right-facing image of George Washington created by sculptor Laura Garden Fraser. Interestingly, this design was originally created in 1931 but was not selected back then. 90 years later, it was finally chosen and used for the 2021 coin, making it both historically significant and artistically unique. The 2021 Washington quarter minted in Philadelphia carries the letter P as its mint mark, located on the obverse side. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of these coins, but not all are created equal. While the majority are worth just 25 cents, a small number of them possess rare errors or high-grade qualities that make them extremely valuable to collectors. So, what exactly makes some 2021p quarters worth over $72,000? Let's dive deeper into the specifics. First, we have to understand that collectors and grading experts value coins based on three major factors: rarity, condition, and errors. When it comes to modern coins like the 2021p quarter, most of them are mass-produced in huge numbers, so rarity usually comes from unusual minting mistakes or perfect condition grades. One of the most valuable versions of the 2021p Washington quarter is the one with a dramatic mint error known as a double die or striking error. A double die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly between impressions, creating a visible doubling of the design, often noticeable in the lettering or the image of George Washington's face. In some rare 2021p quarters, this doubling is so prominent that collectors have paid enormous prices at auctions, sometimes exceeding $70,000 for coins graded in pristine condition. Another type of error that can significantly increase a coin's value is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank coin planchet is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to appear shifted to one side. If the off-center strike is dramatic enough, leaving part of the design missing, collectors find it fascinating and are willing to pay thousands for such examples. But that's not all. Some 2021p quarters have been found with missing mint marks, die cracks, or even partial collars. Each of these mistakes adds to the uniqueness of the coin. Since errors like this are not common, they are often caught early during mint inspection, meaning only a handful escape into circulation. Beyond mint errors, the next big factor affecting value is the coin's grade. The grading system used by professionals ranges from poor, which is almost worn out, to mint state 70, which is flawless. Coins graded by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, as MS69 or MS70 are considered top-tier and can fetch premium prices. For example, a 2021p Washington quarter graded MS70 with no scratches, marks, or toning sold for over $72,000 at auction. Now, you might be wondering how you can tell if your 2021p Washington quarter is special. Here's what you should look for. Start by examining the mint mark. It should be the letter P on the obverse side, right near Washington's ponytail. Then carefully inspect the details of the lettering, especially the words, Liberty, and In God We Trust. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to check for doubling or distortion. Also, take a close look at George Washington's face and hairlines. Any doubling or shadowing effect could indicate a valuable double die error. Next, check the edges of the coin for any abnormalities. If the edge looks wider on one side or has missing reading, it could be an off-center or partial collar strike. Make sure to also examine both sides of the coin for cracks, cuds, or raised lines that might indicate die breaks. If you find a coin that seems unusual, don't clean it. Cleaning can damage the surface and significantly reduce its value. Instead, place it in a soft holder or coin flip and have it graded by a professional coin grading service. Grading not only confirms authenticity but also gives your coin an official certification that can increase its market value when you sell or auction it. Now, let's talk about the current market value and what makes it fluctuate. The 2021 P Washington quarter has a face value of 25 cents, but collectors' interest, demand, and rarity have pushed its market value far beyond that. As of today, regular circulated examples may only be worth their face value, but high-grade or error examples can command anywhere from a few $100s up to the record amount of $72,453. Auction houses and online platforms such as Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and eBay have seen a growing number of listings for 2021 quarters with special features. Some sellers list coins with minor errors for $100 to $500, while certified top-condition examples reach tens of thousands. It's a perfect example of how modern coins, when preserved well, can become treasures in the numismatic world. Another interesting point about the 2021 quarter is that it marks the transition year between two major series. It was the last coin in the America the Beautiful series and the beginning of a new era of Washington quarters that will feature different reverse designs starting from 2022 with the American Women Quarters program. This transitional importance gives the 2021 coin added collectible appeal. For many collectors, owning a piece of numismatic history that symbolizes a turning point is worth paying a premium for. That's why the 2021 P Washington quarter is becoming a modern classic, a coin that bridges two eras of American coin design. Let's also not forget that Philadelphia minted coins have a special place in U.S. coinage history. The Philadelphia Mint, established in 1792, is the oldest mint in the United States. While it's known for producing billions of coins, only a select few carry the unique errors or qualities that make them valuable. This adds another layer of charm and historical context to the 2021 P quarter. If you're someone who loves collecting coins or just wants to try your luck, make sure you check your pocket change, your coin jars, and even those coins sitting in your car's cup holder. You never know when you might come across a rare and valuable 2021 P Washington quarter that could change your life financially. Remember, coin collecting isn't just about money, it's about history, art, and the fascinating stories behind every coin. The 2021 P Washington quarter tells a story of tradition meeting modernity, of a design that waited nearly 90 years to finally make its appearance, and of the hidden gems that remind us treasures can still be found in everyday life. If you find one of these rare 2021 quarters, hold on to it.